It's time for androgyny. That's just that. Dumbo!
Welcome to DUMBOPLEX. We're back after a while, after a hiatus.
We had to take a hiatus. We were doing a Three Stooges bit where we were doctors to the Queen. That fell through, so we're back.
It's finally come to fruition. It's been a lot of preparation up until now. And,
I mean, it was just an opportunity that came up, so we thought, people won't miss us for a few episodes. We'll hang out at Buckingham Palace in Scotland.
First, it's kind of a double whammy. First, you have to ingratiate yourself into the Three Stooges community. Mm-hmm. And so they don't suspect you, you're going undercover with them. You're like, one of us had to shave our heads, the other one had to get like a bowl cut. I had to go home with so many black eyes from strangers just fucking hitting me with 2 fingers in the eyes and then banging me on the top of the head.
I had to turn into black and white.
I went to med school. Someone has to save Queenie.
So we watched a movie for this episode.
Yeah.
We watched It's Pat. When did It's Pat come out?
1994.
Yeah. It's an SNL movie.
It's an essential movie, I would say.
Mm?
I think it's an underrated gem of the SNL movies that came out in like the 90s and shit. I'd never heard of it before you suggested watching it.
Yeah, I think I just found it on Letterboxd, and I was like, wow, it's got a big pink title and a strange looking fellow.
Yeah, you were looking at the Letterboxd lists, like 100 weirdest people in movies. It's like, this movie's about a real little
strangest
weirdo.
looking freaks.
yeah, creepiest bozos in film. So we watched the movie. I liked it. Thought it was very funny.
I watched this like a month ago, so
you've had a lot of time to stew on it, to really think about your opinions.
I've been sitting.
I expect something very profound.
Yeah, I've been on like a nature retreat, just thinking about Pat.
I could do that. I liked the movie so much. I thought it was a very sweet relationship, actually.
Yeah, I liked the relationship part of it. That was very cute.
Yeah.
I think the weird part was the whole spying on Pat.
I thought the weird part was the fact that, the whole time they're not telling you who's a boy and who's a girl.
Well, no, it's pretty obvious.
I feel like the movie would have been improved if they just clarified that one part.
But it's obvious. Chris is a boy, Pat is a girl. It's obvious.
I don't know. I actually disagree. I think there was actually one clue. There's one clue during the whole movie. Right near the end, Pat says it's a classic story, boy meets girl, and girl tells boy to change, or blah, blah, blah. So it's implying that Chris is the girl and Pat is the boy.
I don't think that happens. I think you've made that up.
That does happen right at the end of the fucking movie. And then they get married in the Tibetan dresses, but they don't say who's the husband and who's the bride.
No, because you made that up. You made that whole thing up. What I haven't made up is the scene where Chris fucks Pat.
When does that happen?
That happens, and Chris is the boy.
We've watched different cuts of the movie. You watched the triple X rated version.
I'm pretty sure Chris was a boy, though. Because that's a boy's name.
I don't think it matters.
That's true. That's... Okay. It matters, all right?
I think you're
that's the whole point of the movie.
Of the film.
That's the whole point of the movie, is that it matters. Everyone cares about it.
We can
The whole point of the movie is that if you think it matters, you're an obsessed freak.
Yeah, I would spy.
And you're going to leave your wife.
I would spy on Pat just like Kyle. I would
love to be in Ween. That's what I got from this movie. Is that if Ween pulled up on me in a big van and they were like, Anthony, we want you to come on tour, I would love that.
We want to shoot you out of a cannon.
Much. Oh my, that would be so sick. If I was the cannon guy for Ween.
We've got a bigger, fatter guy, and he's and you're going to be shot out of the cannon at his belly. And also his skin is bright yellow.
That was Smashing Pumpkins in that episode.
I think if you rearrange letters of Smashing Pumpkins, you get Ween. They're both Halloween.
You're thinking of Halloween. Yeah, exactly. You're thinking of Halloween. That's not anything to do with Ween.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Ween used to be a band of like 4 people. There was 4 brothers, and then they made Hallow, and they made Ween. 'Cause they originally
Oh
called
shit!
Halloween.
Hallow fell off. Hallow, no one gives a fuck about Hallow.
Yeah.
Harry,
It's
what are
really
you
sad
looking
story.
at? I see your eyes flitting around like you're reading, like you're taking in information.
I'm looking between all the cameras. I'm like a fucking like a lizard.
You're like fucking trapped in the headlights. What the fuck's wrong with you?
I can't stop. I keep like I look at one of you and then I look back at me and look at the other. It's fucking crazy. And then I was realizing that my eyes were doing that, and then I wanted to see me do that. So then I was watching Mike. That's why I had to keep going.
I was
back.
watching you like you're like watching tennis.
No, I'm just
Harry's
watching
got each of our video feeds on different TVs on different sides of the room.
Yeah, I've got one behind me too. I'm on like
You hear a little
show.
pitter patter in between our jokes, and he's running in between to see what we're doing.
I'm running to my security room with like a wall of TVs.
You're so small that you actually, to see both of us on camera, you have to run to different sides of your monitor. It's 30 inches, but it takes you like fucking. It takes you a minute to run each time.
Yeah,
I've got like a
you've got,
Donkey
like,
Kong Mario type map.
You've
keep
got
going up the
prehistoric
ladders.
eyes. You've got prehistoric eyes that can only see a certain distance.
I can
I
get
would love to
closer.
have prehistoric eyes. Like fucking, you
Yeah.
know the Jurassic Park DVD cover? The big dinosaur's eye? That would
So
be
just
awesome.
scales around it.
Yeah.
You've got an eyebrow made out of scale.
No,
with some
even
kind of
better, I would
spikes.
like to have 3 claws, because then like in Jurassic Park 3's DVD cover, it's like a slash of 3 claws.
We wouldn't be able to see very well if you had 3 claws for eyes.
No, but I know I don't care about the eyes anymore. I'm saying I want to have the claws.
Wow, Anthony doesn't care about eyes.
Yeah,
What
I don't.
surprise.
If I could trade,
Like a mole.
like Spore.
You've got no eyes and big
If I could
claws.
use Spore, if I could distribute my evolution points like in Spore and get giant claws but have no eyes, I'm pretty sure I could still get to the civilization stage.
I want to be the apex predator.
You
I wanna
already
be-
are a predator.
That's true. I'm an apex predator.
Look at that mustache.
I think I'd be one of those alien ships that kind of swoops over, and all the creatures go up and they go, wow. They go, ooh.
What, in Spore?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Someone's
that.
never played
I know
Spore.
this one.
I did play Spore, but I never got that far in it. I never even got to the civilization stage. I always kind of got to like, I'd get to a few evolutions and then be like, this game is boring. I'm going to play like Halo or something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
It'd be so cool if you could play Halo and like take Master Chief and just put different like feathers and beaks on him.
Could evolve him. If you could evolve Master Chief in game,
Yeah.
Give him a big
You can-
scorpion tail.
You can grab his spine and kind of swirl him into a spiral.
yeah. If I could give him 100 eyes, so he could see from every direction.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't have any eyes. He just has a big kind of orange kind of sensor.
Okay, there's a guy under there, I'm pretty sure. I think that's actually one of the things in the game. I think they show his face at some point.
No, they don't.
They never do.
No.
I didn't play any of them after ODST. And like the new one.
I only remember Halo 3 because we would talk about what we got in the campaign in primary school on the playground. I could never.
I
beat the
loved
level.
playing Halo 3 because I had all the custom games on. Like Fat Kid and like Cops and Robbers and shit. That was so sick.
I got awesome little glitch lobbies in Modern Warfare 3. No, Modern Warfare 3. And the shotguns would like blow you away and you'd go into the sky and you could break
Oh my
out the
god.
map. Yeah, it was pretty
That's
awesome.
so sick.
Yeah.
Do you think Pat would be good at computer games?
Probably not.
No, Pat's not that kind of nerd.
Too disgusting.
Pat's not just. Pat is very powerful,
Pat-
like as a
Pat-
character. Pat is like has the kind of autism that just makes you like
I-
invulnerable.
I think Pat would play probably like Sudoku on the PlayStation 2.
Wait, what? There's a Sudoku game on the PlayStation 2?
I'm sure there
Got to
is.
get this.
Either that or like Mahjong. One of the board
I don't
games.
know.
that you can
I
get
don't
digital.
feel like Pat like
I don't think they'd
does
win. I don't
anything.
think they'd be very good at it.
for the whole movie. You don't see Pat be much of like a game player. It's more just like talking at people.
Pat's not a game master.
Yeah, Pat's not really a gamer. Well, I were a different movie. It's a guy and he's a gamer,
Okay.
and he becomes famous, and he meets Ween for playing video games, and they get to play video games on stage, and then someone gets obsessed with him, and he
Tries to
gets-
see his dick.
Well, no, they see his game.
Oh.
It's all about gaming. So they see
Yeah.
So he shows them his game.
And he gets flown to Tibet at the end to compete in a gaming tournament.
Yeah, the Tibetan Gaming Championship. And it's called It's Gamer.
I think you're onto
Shit. You know what? This time away is just... You know what? We just came back like nothing ever changed. Just stayed hot. The flame kept burning the whole time.
I think we're even better. I think it's like...
Yeah,
it's
I feel like
when
we've honed
It's
our
like when you
craft.
work out really hard and like the next day you can't work out very well. But if you wait like a couple of days, you know, you look like
It's very
Arnold.
true. It's true.
Did you see should we talk about the movie?
No, what did I see?
I was gonna say, did you see Pat's hair when they were in high school? He had like a massive afro.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Anyway, yeah, let's talk about the fucking movie. So in the beginning, Pat is born, and the doctor doesn't gender Pat at birth, and you know
I think he
they
runs
just
off.
go. Yeah, he runs off because there's there's an emergency.
There's an
Well, first
emergency.
he drops Pat.
Oh yeah, drops Pat. Drops Pat on the floor immediately at
Yeah.
birth.
And there was the
from
boom
my
shot.
memory of this scene, I think he drops Pat on the floor and Pat kind of bounces around the room, kind of bounces off the shelves and knocks on the light, and then right back into his arms.
Wait, what?
I think he just falls to the ground.
Yeah,
I think
I was
it's
thinking.
invincible.
I was trying to. Like, I was kind of high when I watched the movie, and now I'm thinking, like, did that actually happen?
No,
I
I
think-
think he just
yeah.
got dropped.
No, Pat was born, and then Pat was a child, and people in school were giving them Valentine's cards, which I don't really get, to be honest. Pat kind of looks like a geek. Glasses,
Yeah.
tucked in shirt.
I think everybody for Pat's entire life has wanted to see their genitals. Like, that's the whole point. So they would give him Valentine's cards just to try and have sex.
Well, that's what love is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I just want to take a peek.
You want to see what it looks like.
I heard that the color of your lips is like it matches like the color of your bell end. Like the like surface area of like blood vessels or whatever is like the same. So it's like. So yeah, you look at someone's
Yeah.
lips and apparently that's the color of their thing.
That's awesome.
Just think about that from now on, you know.
Yeah.
So Pat gets
I'm not
born.
gonna think
Pat's a
about
kid.
that at all.
And then Pat's a teenager, has a fucking sick afro, like you said, and smashes some eggs at the grocery store. Oh yeah, because Pat sucks at holding down a job. That's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a key element. That's like a key element of the character. Pat's very bad at holding down a job. Pat becomes a male person, and opens all the mail. And
Postage operative.
which I thought sounded so fun to just like walk around, just like opening people's mail. That sounds
Yeah.
sick.
Well, it's like Christmas every day. You get to like take their parcels and shake it about.
That's
and
what I'm
kinda
saying.
Shake it like really, really hard and try and figure out.
Do you guys
what's-
remember that
what's
news
inside.
story about the postman who like someone delivered some weed cookies to someone in the mail and then they didn't get posted correctly, so they got left at the post office, and then after a while like food items or something they're allowed to like throw it away, and so they decided to eat it, and they were weed cookies, so all these like old postmen got high. There's like a video of them and they're all stoned.
You know, for
Have you
some
seen
people
it?
that would be the perfect world.
Well, a bunch of stoned old men.
I guess so. I guess that's what I said.
I guess it's basically what you said.
I guess that's basically what I said.
The rest of
I
us
think-
are damn male, though, so let's keep him sober.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I've got a note here that says being gay is a federal offence.
That was funny.
So I guess Pat gets fired for being gay.
No, Pat gets fired for opening mail and says that and for saying that someone is gay, for saying that someone's son is gay because they came out in a letter that Pat wrote.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Imagine getting outed by a postman.
That's so sick. I feel like Pat's a good person to hear it from though, if any
Yeah.
postman, you know?
Well, I imagine if you got outed by a postman, it'd be because you got like a big envelope, like an acceptance letter to Hogwarts, but it'd be just like a big rainbow.
Well, you get a letter when you become gay.
Yeah, you get invited to the Rainbow Brotherhood.
It's like the Muslim Brotherhood, but for gay people. It's
I
like one
used
of
to
the
watch
factions.
this.
It's one of the factions in Syria, the Rainbow Brotherhood.
I used to watch this friend. Oh, well, I think it was American or in English, but he lives in France. It's this guy on YouTube, this really old man who looked a bit strange, and he would go on about the Great White Brotherhood and higher vibrational beings. He would talk about how the Great White Brotherhood is inhabiting physical forms.
Wait, white as in
messages.
race, or white as in like white energy, light workers?
I think it's more energy.
The light side.
There's more energy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was more interested in vibrations than skin color. He was very intelligent in that fact.
Damn, he sounds cool. Can we just fucking cancel the Can we just cancel the
remember
recording? Just
his
get
name.
his teachings right now.
I read a bit of his book, but that was years and years ago.
Do you think you've carried this with you, like, into your adult life? Are you higher
Carried what?
vibrational? Are you a higher vibrational being?
I think I might be. Well, I did see that thing about spore, so it's on the table.
Hey, I might not have higher vibrations, but I vibe high. I vibe and get high.
Yeah, and then
How about that? What's that?
I think the next scene is that Pat goes to the shop, and we meet there.
The pharmacy.
Oh yeah.
I guess, but the shopkeeper's just like, just crazy. She's very disturbed.
Yeah, she fucking hates Pat and doesn't want to hear anything Pat has to say because Pat might say something about having sex.
Yeah, it's just like, it's insane. It's like, I can't remember enough to kind of quote it, but it's just, it's bizarre.
Well, yeah,
What a
and it's
bizarre
like
movie.
Pat is constantly going like, "Oh, can I get a razor to shave?" Blah blah blah, and it'll be like an innuendo kind of thing to go to talk about the genitals, but then you won't actually be
it's
about
like,
that.
I need to get this Vagisil cream.
Yeah,
And the shopkeeper's like, ah! Ooh!
Yeah. Like Pat said at one point, Pat's like, "Oh, I need some lubrication and like for my eyes because I'm getting dry eyes because of my allergies." Like it's like innuendo stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab my tea.
What the fuck?
That
Pause.
was a really good.
Okay, unpaused. We're back. How was your tea?
It's hot. I'm drinking it.
Okay. Worth
Is it
pausing, worth
going in the
pausing for?
episode?
Yes, it is.
I didn't ask you to
I
pause.
said
Yeah,
unpause.
he
I said
did say
unpause.
unpause. He said unpause.
I said unpause, so it's in the episode now.
Yeah.
I said
So-
I'm going to get my tea, and I just expect you to just continue on.
It's fine. You got your tea now, and I hope it was worth pausing the podcast for.
Do I just sit on the naughty step?
No, you sit on the podcasting chair and you record the episode and you do your work.
When does Kathy Griffith show up? Kathy
Is she a
Griffith.
real person?
Yeah,
she's a real person, right?
she's
So
that-
she's playing herself.
Yeah, she's the Trump eating broad. She's the one that.
Oh, she held Trump
Yeah.
up. She had Trump.
Yep.
Yeah.
She held America up to a mirror and showed.
No,
us
I
what
think
was
she should
wrong.
be in jail for that. I think that was seditious, what she did at the
I
time.
think she should be in jail for being so rude to Pat. But hey, fascist.
That is true.
That game.
That is true. She was very rude to Pat. So Pat gets fired from the Mail, and Pat also gets fired from a bunch of other jobs. I can't remember.
Well, one of them is a Japanese
sushi.
restaurant. Yeah, and both the
Sushi.
Japanese were the first people to work out Pat's gender. The Japanese
Oh,
worked it out.
because the
already.
Japanese guy saw Pat's thing
Yeah.
at the Japanese bathing place.
I think they had a sort of technology, perhaps. Scan Pat
They
down.
developed it in World War II. That was what they were doing all those
Yeah.
fucked up experiments for.
It's a pair,
All those
pair of
little
special
minion-looking
glasses.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Pat's just like sneezing and getting snot all over the sushi.
That was awesome. Sneezed around that guy's sushi and there's a big snot on
Making some sticky rice.
it. Gross. So Pat gets fired again, and then Pat's walking around looking at all these people that have jobs, and I thought that scene was so funny. Like, all the cops and the firemen are all like hanging out and like laughing together, and then there's a bunch of like builders, they're all sitting together in their group, and then Pat's like standing at this magazine stand, and a bunch of spacemen in full like astronaut outfits walk past. It's so funny. There's a lot of like visual and just like gags. There's like non-stop gags the whole way through the movie, and that's my favorite kind of comedy. Like I recently rewatched like Naked Gun and Airplane and all that shit, and like I love that style of like just like joke after joke after joke with like little mini visual jokes happening all the time, and like
Yeah, that's what I mean. Pat was that, and the dialogue is almost really good. Pat has some really good one-liners, such as Madness. And there's another one where whenever Pat makes a joke, Pat says, "That's my joke." And that's a really good one. That's a good catchphrase.
That's a good bit.
We should start doing that on the podcast.
We need catchphrases. Pat just makes funny noises after every line, though. Like,
I actually would not like that. In an audio format, I would fucking hate if someone did that all the time. But we do need catchphrases.
We do. Why I order. That's mine.
And that's on period. And that's my one. That's my new one.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got our catchphrases. What happens next?
I don't know. I feel like I need to workshop mine. I'm going to come back. I'm going to have a different one next
I like
episode.
it. I like it. I think it suits you.
What, on that's on period?
Yeah. So it's like the next parts where Pat ends up in like a sort of strip club, but not strip club, right?
It's a strip club.
Oh no! Oh, it is a strip club. Okay, I didn't know. I couldn't.
Or I
tell.
don't know if it's a strip club. I think it might just be like a titty bar, you know, like where they stay dressed, where they dance around.
Yeah, because no one had their boobies out. So
it's exotic dancers. You know,
because Pat's become like an electrician or something.
Yeah,
a
gas person. Yeah,
gas person. And that's where Pat meets Chris. And sparks fly.
Yeah, they love each other.
They fly so literally between their hands.
Chris is another androgynous person, and they
You struggled so much with that word.
I was thinking of the phrase, is androgyne like a person who is androgynous?
I think so. That's
me. I was thinking if that was an actual word, and so I didn't want to say it, so I just said the full word. But so Chris is like another androgynous person. They start talking, and Pat comes off as very mysterious and aloof.
Pat looks like, in a bar, you sort of realize that Pat could just be like a butch lesbian and probably be the most popular butch lesbian in the city.
Probably the most ugly butch lesbian in the city.
That's just rude. I thought Pat was a beautiful butch lesbian. I honestly believe this, that's the way.
I don't feel like you should have an opinion on that.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like the person who least should have an opinion on that.
I think Pat's ugly because I think Pat is stuffed with duck feathers.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think that's working even flash under that shirt. I feel like it's a costume.
Pat does have very skinny hands. It could be a sign of anything, really.
They're a skeleton.
Also, I don't know the way they sneeze on everything. And also, Pat's rather rude.
Pat is rather rude.
Pat is just a bad person. Chris becomes the main character for me, just because.
Chris is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The scene where when they start dating is so funny because they go on a bunch of dates and they go like, dinner's my favorite meal, and they go like, oh my god, me too.
I love good movies.
Yeah, I love good movies, and I actually hate bad too. I hate bad, boring movies.
Oh my god.
My favorite scene though that's my favorite line was when Chris goes, you know another thing I hate? Senseless evil. That was so funny.
I think Senseless Evil might be one of my top 5 favorite things.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. What, you're saying in real life, but not about the movie? I actually hate that. Are you being serious?
I think you love Death and Destruction so much.
I'm gonna get cancelled for saying that Senseless Evil is one of my favorite things.
You need to boot this person off the show. They said evil was actually good.
Yeah. Well, my other top 4 favorite things are senseful evil, sensual evil, senses evil, and Sixth Sense evil.
Well, now I don't. I just feel like you're just making this up. At first, I believed it, but now it feels like you're doing some kind of bit.
I would never do a bit. I'm very serious.
Good. That's what people come here for serious opinions about movies.
Pat falls downstairs.
I also wrote down Pat falls down the stairs was a great gag.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
I don't remember
And
it
then-
at all.
So Pat sees a couple moving in with a big fan, and then Pat goes, "Oh, is that a big fan of yours? That's one of my jokes," and then falls down the stairs.
Yeah, yes, and their names are Kyle and Kyle's wife.
Yeah, Sarah, I think.
Kyle's wife.
I mean, she's kind of a non-character, yeah. Oh yeah, and Pat falls down the stairs, and Pat says, "Oh, I crushed my nuts."
I crushed
And then
my
it's
nuts. I crushed my nuts.
And then Pat pulls out a pair of bloody testicles from their pocket. And actually, it was just a pair of nuts they had in their pocket. It's not their nuts.
Yeah, it's like walnuts or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kyle.
They actually do that gag twice. They do a gag about Pat having food
it's so
in the
good.
pocket size. Yeah.
It's really
So
good gag.
good.
And it kind of seems like Kyle fancies Pat. He's got a thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Kyle, like from the off, is weirdly into.
And he starts kind of like he's very strange to Pat, and then he starts kind of like he has this big pair of binoculars, and he's like looking through the shutters at Pat.
Yeah, he has. So I don't get what he does for work, because apparently in their relationship he just has a completely legitimate photography and telescope room. Because I feel like he had this before he met Pat. He already had this stuff, you know.
Well, he's obviously a telescope product photographer.
He's a professional creep. That's his thing. Is he makes his money to just taking creep shots. But now he's mixing business with pleasure. He's got an emotional attachment to his work.
Yeah. You know, creep shots have to stay in a folder. They can't go on the mantelpiece.
So Chris is like, so Chris narrates a part and says like, we've fallen. All right, no, or does Pat narrate it? I can't. Anyway. They're in the room of their house and they're lazing around, and Chris goes like, "Oh, you like need to like stick to a career," and Pat doesn't really get it, and they kind of have like an argument, but then it's resolved, you know, and then they go out because it's such a beautiful sunny day, and they both love sunny days. It's a key. That's one of the things that they bonded over, was that they like sunny days.
I think I can't remember what happens, but yeah, like Chris just kind of gets a bit fed up with Pat, and then I think the next note I've got is about Kyle. He's got a big camera and he's just rushing into Pat's apartment to video
Yeah. So Kyle is watching Pat from across the way, and Pat goes to, well, Kyle thinks Pat is peeing and suddenly rushes over to Pat's apartment.
Yeah.
To like,
he's like looking through the viewfinder on the camera. He's all hot and sweaty.
Yeah, exactly. But Pat is actually only pouring orange juice down the toilet.
I mean, I do that every day, so.
I take my one sip of orange juice in the morning.
I go, yuck, it tastes like oranges.
I brush my teeth and I immediately drink orange juice, and I realize it's poisoned because it tastes bad, and I just throw it away every single day.
And there's like some sort of party or dance or something.
There's an engagement party. They get engaged.
Oh yeah.
But let me consult my notes real quick.
Yeah. Well, I've got notes about the presents, which is sexy lingerie, and then his and her towels.
Yeah. So the Carl acts crazy, and then they have the engagement party, and Pat is being very rude and drunk.
I love to be rude and drunk, and Pat.
That's one of my notes. Pat is rude and drunken, and forces Chris to do karaoke that Chris doesn't want to do. And then they get Kyle films it and submits it to America's creepiest fuckers.
Does Pat like sing "Dude Looks Like a Lady"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat sings "Dude Looks Like a Lady." Pat also sings like some Love Song, and the one that gets submitted to the show is Le Freak. I want to freak out. Yeah.
I thought all of the performances were pretty good in the songs. I thought they would. I don't think they.
You
would
think
get
so?
On, yeah, I feel like they would get on X Factor, but not Funniest Home Videos.
No way. Pat would be on the X Factor. Like, would be on the show, but Pat would get booted off in the first.
No,
Simon Cowell would be like, no, Pat, more like Shat, because you just did shit, and then they would be kicked off the show.
Look, right there it says "beautiful song." Really?
No,
beautiful
well,
song.
I disagree completely.
I thought it was nice.
We're kind of like the Simon Cowell and Louis Walsh of this podcast right now.
I'm Sharon Osbourne.
I'm Simon Cowell. You're Louis Walsh. You doesn't stand like that. You're Louis Walsh. I'm Simon Cowell because I'm being disapproving.
But Louis Walsh is like a sex offender.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like.
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, he was
I'm
like
not surprised.
He pinched that lady's
Sandpaper.
bum on the TV. You can't.
I think I've got.
Someone
a
needs to
quote.
get rid of him. Someone needs to take him down.
I think I've got a quote from Carl's wife here. I think it's like, "You've been acting so strange since we moved into this building." And I think I was imagining like a Rosemary's Baby situation where what's in Pat's pants is kind of the Antichrist.
Is
And everyone's trying to kind of
satanic penis?
demonic non-binary pussy is my note.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, and the wife finds out about him acting so weird. Like, she confronts Kyle and it's like, she kind of deduces that he wants to fuck Pat, or he's like obsessed with Pat. And then Pat is writing in their computer diary, which I love. I love the shitty 90s laptop. So sick.
Yeah, I think they call it like a laptop diary. I think they're always whining about their laptop diary, kind of from now on in the film.
I mean, they forget about it when they become a big radio host. You know, they don't really mention it until then. But there's some stuff between them. Kyle finds out. Sorry, go on.
Does Pat go to the dentist?
Yeah.
So I got something here
and
about like a massive mouth prop.
spit at people.
Pat is doing the thing where Pat tells everyone that they're going to be on TV.
Oh yeah.
They're going to be on Funniest Home Videos, and they tell everybody, including the dentist. I thought that they just.
It's literally called like World's Creepiest People. Like the show that they go on. It's called. It's actually called World's. Yeah, America's Creepiest People.
How rude of Kyle.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Kyle doesn't think that though. Kyle disagrees with them when they say that Pat is creepy.
Yeah,
Should've
it's
gave
like
it
on
the world's
X
nicest
Factor. You
people.
don't have to be XXX Tentacion or DMX. You don't have to be either of them.
Or to go on the X Factor.
Yeah.
I'm not getting this. I feel like they will both be quite successful in the X Factor.
I don't think they would.
Just so they're being accomplished musicians.
I don't think they would be successful.
I think we need to consider this very.
You
very
completely
slowly.
derailed. I feel like you completely derailed.
I
me
did.
there.
I'm a derailer.
That was terrible.
I'm like a little pebble on the train track.
You are.
I'm mischievous.
So Kyle goes over to Pat's house and and finds out about the diary, and is trying to look at it, and gets really close to Pat's crotch, and the second food in the pocket gag happens, where Pat has a banana in their pocket.
Okay, so Pat
like
has
a penis.
nuts and bananas in their pocket.
Yeah, and they also have a fruit that looks like a pussy in the other one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My eyes just lit up. My ears are perking.
Yeah, I just started salivating thinking about a fruit that looks like a pussy. I'm so hungry just now.
Wow, you guys should Google papaya.
Does it look like that?
Nah, that shit's a pussy. I'm fucking that. I'm fucking this fruit.
Oh my god! No, actually, that's disgusting. Imagine if someone's pussy was full of like little black seeds.
No,
Imagine
you
if
can
it's
get them
orange.
out. Take the black seeds out. You got a fuck hole in the middle of that papaya.
Imagine if it's orange and juicy. Ugh.
Ooh.
Some of them are like look more pink.
The best pussy got
That's
seeds.
a fuckable one. That's a fuckable one.
It's disgusting. You should be
Let's
eating
get
a
off
pie.
of
You
this
should be putting it in a
disgusting
fruit
topic.
salad
Yeah, you should actually just eat it like normal, like fruit.
with a knife and fork.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
fuck it.
This movie's vulgar. All this talk of
Movie's
sexual
sexual.
characteristics has
This movie makes me sexual.
corrupted us. Sorry, I burped.
That's grim.
Yeah, I know. I just
Let's,
completely burped.
I think we skipped the bit where Pat and Chris are in the car and they have a learner's car, and that's a really awesome.
That
bit.
was such a good
It's
bit.
a really good.
That
bit.
was so fucking funny. The the driving instructor car, where they both have the
Oh
steering
yeah, it's
wheel.
got two steering wheels, and they decide together which way to go.
That's so good.
I think that's when Chris leaves Pat. Actually,
Yeah, so Pat and Chris keep having arguments because Pat is just like talking all the time about being on TV and wanting to be famous and stuff. And they part ways for a while, and Pat goes to Kyle's place. And he acts like a total raper. He acts like a creepy raper.
Wow.
Do you agree?
yeah, Kyle's
Yeah.
messed up. Kyle's messed
Kyle's
up
a
in this movie.
fucking weird freak. Oh, and so Chris goes
he's,
back
he's
to Chris.
neglecting his beautiful wife with a beautiful bum.
No, his wife left him.
That is true.
His wife made the
That's
choice.
an old note.
Kyle is all Pat's now.
So Kyle acts like a creepy raper. Chris, I got a note here that says Chris has a waterbed. I don't
Chris has
remember
a
when this
great
happened.
apartment.
Yeah, Chris
I
has an
love
awesome
Chris's
flat.
place.
He's got like rattan walls. It's awesome. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
Did
very
you
new
just
age.
gender Chris?
Yes, we went through. Chris is the guy.
No.
Chris is the guy.
No.
I got it all worked out, alright?
No.
Well, I mean,
No.
I think
No.
technically is that they're
Chris
not.
is played by a guy.
I think technically it's that they're not non-binary. They're not like androgynous. They're androgynous people, but they're not. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have gender.
Yeah, it's just
they're
everyone
not.
else who's obsessed with kind of trying to figure it out. And they're very
I would be one of the
confused.
people
Yeah.
obsessed with it.
So I think it's quite
Yeah.
positive.
This movie
kind of
makes you
character.
obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole movie actually has kind of
Yeah.
like a. It touches on a lot of like almost like culture war figures. Like
Yeah.
there's like when Pat goes on TV, there's like a gender studies academic or something who kind of like feels like that would be a character that someone would make up now, but it's done in like a way like it's done in like a not
With that,
not tasteful, just like not overbearing. It's done in just like a really lighthearted, like it's a very lighthearted, like fun way of telling the story.
yeah, the whole thing with Kyle is that he acts like exactly like a Twitter turf.
Yeah, he's like a weird chaser, like fucking slash turf. Like he has a very weird
Yeah,
sexual obsession with.
Yeah, I think he's more of a turf because he's just like obsessed, and I think the kind of sexual component only comes from his kind of maddening obsession. He gets really crazy towards the end. He gets so crazy.
It's so funny. He starts dressing up like Pat, and he has the Pat puppet.
Oh, the Pat puppet
The
was
Pat puppet is
awesome.
beautiful.
There's a lot of
Oh my
good
god.
stuff
Okay,
in this.
okay. So Pat's walking down the street, and guess who pulls up in a fucking van?
It's
So I read about this, and I completely forgot about it when I watched the movie. And when they pulled up, I got gasped. I was like, "Oh my god, it's them!" And it's Gene and Dean Ween,
Gene
looking
and
very
Dean
young.
Ween.
If this was '94, I think Pure Guava, the album Pure Guava, had just come out, and they were playing some songs off that. It's a fucking good album. I really like Ween, so this was a big moment for me.
Yeah,
when
my
Ween
friend really
showed
likes
up, and
Ween. I've listened to like a bit of it.
I
I
love
don't
Ween
really
so
know
much.
Ween. I was hoping for maybe Drake to come in or like Smokers.
Drake's like, "Yo, Pat, I seen you. We're gonna turn up the 6." And then Pat goes and like they do
Drake teaches
one
Pat how to
dance.
speak patois.
Yeah. Yeah, Babmon Pat, and then they
Well,
do
Pat's
one
the
dance,
jacket.
and Pat's on the playing the tuba,
I need a
doing one
dance.
dance. Do you?
Yeah. Oh, I'd love a dance right now.
Yeah.
To dance with Drake is my dream.
Oh my god. To Dutty Wine Pond Drake.
What kind of dancing would you do?
You don't want to know. little bit of a.
You know you know those like
That's what
crazy
Drake
Jamaican
wanted.
daggering dances where they like flip over the girl and stuff.
Yeah,
That's sort of shit. That's the shit me and Drake are gonna be doing. I'm gonna be breaking his back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull him up on a ladder and fucking throw him off the top turnbuckle. I'm gonna go crazy on him. I'm gonna fold him up like a fucking lawn chair.
I'll have him stab me with a very ornate dagger. Maybe on top of a very stepped pyramid or something.
Craziest daggering, like someone like fucking does like an Aztec sacrifice in the middle of like a dance hall thing.
And he pulls out my heart and it's still beating and I get to look at it.
That would be
get
cool.
to look at it. It's my dream to look at me still beating hard outside of my own body. And Drake is holding it.
Gene and Dean Ween get Pat to do a concert, and Pat plays the concert.
Yeah.
And then backstage, someone offers them some like mushroom hors d'oeuvres, and Pat eats it and starts like tripping. It was so funny. Like Pat like just pretends to trip on a fucking mushroom hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah. Yeah, I've written down lace canapes and then I've drawn a big X next to it, and I don't know why I've put a big X next to it.
Maybe
I
you thought they
assume
were
it's because you
laced.
thought they were laced and then they weren't.
You would have done the same as Pat. You would have had those
Yeah,
damn
you would
mushrooms.
have had a Pat moment. You would have fucking eaten those mushrooms and started like tripping out.
Oh yeah, they were just normal canapes, weren't
Yeah,
they?
they're just normal mushrooms. Yeah. Pat imposes himself on Ween the next day. Goes to the same venue and goes like, "Hey, I'm ready for the next show." It feels weird to me. It's like Ween doing a residency at this place, because Ween plays at the same venue like 3 times like throughout the course of this movie. That just feels weird to me. I understand 2 days in a row. You know, you sell out on the first day, you play the second day, but to just be there in the same town like as a touring band 3 nights in a row.
Maybe you just didn't know how much Ween loved that town.
Yeah. Maybe
That's
they're in
true.
a Groundhog Day situation.
Well, they have to play it the same day.
Where
Even-
they think they're in a Groundhog Day situation, but the radiation's broken.
They just have an alarm clock, so because they wake up at the same time every day, they assume it's the same day. And, oh my god, we woke up at 8 a.m. again. So Pat and Chris break up, like
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
And then it's around that point that you learned that they had Bert and Ernie style beds. They had a
Oh,
single
yeah,
bed each,
side by
that was cool.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Pat's an abusive tentacle icon.
Do you and your girlfriend do that?
Mm-hmm.
The two separated beds.
Yeah, I have striped button-up pajamas that I put on before bed, and then I put my little sneaky cap on, and then I get into my own single bed. And I light the candle before I sleep because I'm scared of the dark.
And it absorbs all the smells.
You and your girlfriend wear matching nightcaps. You both blow out a candle at the exact same time. So Kyle's like, oh yeah, the Pat and Chris break up, and Kyle is dressed up as Pat in the apartment, like fucking. Oh, it has stolen the laptop. This is when the laptop gets stolen, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then at some point he finds out a trick to get the password. And the
Yeah,
trick is
because Pat says it's in the dictionary. It's the last word of the dictionary.
He spends so long going through every word. And each time it has like the Jurassic Park, like...
Yes, I wrote password. Password reminds me of Jurassic Park. Yeah, it's the same thing where
A little
there's
message
access
from
denied.
Yeah.
I love that bit in Jurassic Park. Like, it goes like, and it has like the really annoying, like, animation.
Yeah, so I wish I had that on, like, everything I owned.
That'd be so sick. Someone tries to go on my phone, and it's just like an 8-bit version of me, like, laughing, going like,
Yeah, someone tries to go on a smart fridge.
They should have a smart fridge that poisons all the food if it's not you opening it. Someone tries to take your Coke Zero, and it's poisoned.
Yeah.
They irradiate all the food before they take it.
Yeah, it has it's like that library in like Sweden or something where it sucks all the oxygen out of the room.
Well, the fridge does
Suffocates
that. Killer Fridge would be an insane movie. That'd be a sick,
Yeah.
like, 80s, like, incredibly low budget slasher. Killer Fridge. And it's all just about people who get hungry and go to this one fridge and they get eaten.
Was there something about crooks?
Yeah, Pat. Pat goes and looks for the laptop, the stolen laptop, and Pat meets some thugs on the street who all have, like, these beanies with the end tied up. It's very confusing. I don't know why they have that. None of them have, like, a regular beanie.
Yeah, they
They
look
have,
like
a
the
long thing tied up.
They look like the thugs from that Japanese movie with Luke Skywalker in it.
Mark Hamill's in a Japanese movie?
Yeah. It's like a bioweapon thing. I've forgotten.
What, Tetsuo the Iron Man 2?
No, it's like, it doesn't matter. But all the thugs are like dressed up like, very strange, like a kind of cartoon character.
We can add it to the list. Maybe we can watch this movie and another thing. We can create a saga of weird thugs.
That can be.
I'm kind of a weird thug. But yeah, there's a bunch of thugs, and they define androgynous to Pat, and Pat freaks out upon finding out what androgynous actually means.
Yeah, Pat doesn't know. Pat's very stupid.
Pat's like really fucking dumb. But yeah, Pat doesn't know what androgynous means and finds out and runs home. Just sprints home. And then there's a makeover scene because Pat wants a more gender-affirming haircut.
Yeah,
I really like the haircut scene. The haircut scene's very funny.
Yeah, I think Pat gets like a really short haircut, like spiky, and then like a kind of hairspray, John Waters type haircut.
Yeah.
And then back to their normal haircut, and they're like, "Wow, this is perfect."
Yeah, they're doing like GTA, like going from shaved head to long hair.
Yeah.
like when the guy buzzes over your hair and then you have longer hair.
They should have tried some more cultural haircuts.
Dreads.
Yeah, dreads.
Traditional Japanese haircut where they shave the
tonsure.
No, that's not a tonsure. A tonsure is the ring.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, the
What's
Japanese version.
Yeah.
It's called a Japanese tonsure, I think.
I could get that. I've got the long hair in the back. I could fully just like crop the front of my hair and just have it all tied up at the back.
You could walk around Morrison's in a kimono.
Yeah, I could have a samurai sword. I could cut people down.
Yeah. You could just like go to the milk.
The police try and arrest me, and I just point to my hair, and they're like, "All right, mate. Well, you know, you seem like you know what you're doing."
Yeah, you get your sword and you go like that, and then all the policemen's belts fall off.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna say they all fall in half, but that's cool too.
Yeah,
I would love to be the Croydon Samurai.
Croydon Samurai. You get on.
Okay, no, sorry, go on.
You get on Croydon Live.
We don't need to talk about it. What the hell's Croydon Live?
Does Croydon not have that? Like a local news thing online?
Maybe we do. No, we have My Croydon. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Wow, what's the top story of My Croydon?
Yeah, let's actually switch for the last 10 minutes of the podcast. We'll just talk about news stories from Croydon.
Pat starts doing a talk radio show, which ends up being it's Kathy Griffin's show, and then Pat steals it by being more interesting.
Yeah, Pat's merciless cruelty hour.
Yeah,
Pat just tells people who are going to kill themselves, "Hey, fuck you, shut the hell up." Have you ever who's the guy who Chuck Palahniuk, whoever, the guy who wrote Fight Club? He wrote the book Fight Club. He also wrote this other book, I think it's called Survivor. And it's about a guy who was from he's born in an end of the world cult, and all the other ones are killing themselves, and he's still alive. Anyway, he has a fake suicide hotline where he just tells people to kill themselves when they call them up, and that's basically what Pat's thing is. Just people just call up and they just say the worst thing ever, and then Pat goes yeah, maybe you should fucking do it.
Do you think Pat would
then people love that.
Do you think Pat would make a good member of Howard Stern's Whack Pack?
Definitely.
Yeah, because he's Pat. Howard
Pat in
Stern,
an interview would work so well.
Because Howard Stern just collects freaks.
Pat debating Gary the retard. Pat versus Gary the retard in a fucking intelligence competition.
I think Beetlejuice would probably kill Pat.
Just through not comprehending Pat's gender.
I think Beetlejuice would burrow into Pat and kind of emerge like a chest burst.
Lay eggs. Beetlejuice would lay his eggs.
Yeah.
So Pat gets famous for being cruel.
And Chris is going to go off to Tibet for a year. They kind of plan to do that.
Yeah, Chris is going on a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where Chris is packing a suitcase on the waterbed and keeps like trying to dramatically like jump on it to close it, but then just like slides off. It's very funny.
Yeah.
I need a waterbed. I feel like a waterbed is like a great thing to have in your room.
I think you should
It's a
sleep
visual
in
gag as well as
You should sleep in like a kid's paddling pool.
filled with like baked beans or like custard or something.
Actually, just filled with water.
No. Those guys are crazy. That's an insane. That feels like a weirdly like English fish, like the guys who pour food all over themselves and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's called splashing, isn't it? No other country can
Exactly.
splash.
That's why you know. That's even the name. You know, that's an English name. That sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah.
So-
Maybe that's what Chris is going to do in Tibet.
What is sploshing? Just like
Yeah.
pouring curry all over yourself. Or something.
Take all the food that's given to the monks.
That's what they're doing. That's what the Dalai Lama's doing up there. He's pouring all their fucking alms
like,
and
what,
fucking
it's
just covering himself in it.
So it's free food. What's free food? Oh, I guess I can
All the
sort of wrap it on
all the
myself.
monks are getting their rocks off, covered in curry. It's disgusting. They're all dignified until they close those temple doors, and then it's like robes off, lads. We're all getting in the big pool.
How
It's
does
disgusting.
how does Pat end up in the Hall of Mirrors?
Because Kyle calls up doing a foreign accent to the radio station and says, "You need to meet me at the Hall of Mirrors at the Ripley's oddity place, and to get your diary back." He unlocks the code.
Pat's very kind of distressed.
Yeah, Pat freaks out and Pat goes to the maze, and Kyle tries to get Pat to get naked so he can finally find out what's going on down there in that place.
It's like Saw. It's great.
Yeah. Kyle is like the film itself is very like sweet and like lighthearted, but it's like got a very like
Kyle is an evil
Kyle is like a
presence.
deeply twisted
Yeah.
character. Kyle
Kyle
is
is
like
very
actually like
twisted.
fucked up. Like if the film had like a darker tone, he would like he would like want to skin Pat and like wear Pat as a fucking outfit.
Yeah, I mean, he basically does. I think,
But
yeah.
sorry, go on.
I've just got like Pat runs back to Chris.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that happen. Pat runs away from Kyle and ends up back at the Ween show in the rafters above the performance. And Kyle's like trying to keep, grab Pat, and they're on these rafters above the stage. And Pat falls backwards off the end of the platform and gets hooked on a big stage hook that rips off all their clothes on the bottom half of their body. And they're just sitting there, thing out, dangling in front of everybody. Their thing's completely out.
It's just naked Pat, and everyone's
And everyone
shocked.
applauds. Everyone applauds. Like the whole crowd goes crazy, and they all start clapping for seeing Pat's thing.
Yeah,
It's awesome. And then the guy runs down and gets arrested. Like Kyle gets taken away by security because he's trying to look at Pat's thing on stage.
yeah. So he never gets his satisfaction.
He never gets to see it. He goes to jail and he never even gets to see it.
He's so
A
crazy.
fitting punishment for anyone who wants to look at someone's thing.
Yeah.
He should never be allowed to see it.
Yeah, and then Pat runs off to the ferry and finds Chris, and they end up getting married.
Which
in Tibet.
fucking confused me. Who gets a cruise to Tibet?
I wondered
What
that
the
too.
fuck is that? Who gets a cruise across the fucking Atlantic Ocean? Like this is the 1920s.
Maybe it was the night. They never specified it.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh
like,
my god, no, yes they do, yes they do, yes they do.
No, they don't.
Because yes they do, because the gender studies professor on the TV show says this is like the sexual dynamics of the new millennia. They're dating it's in 1990. So shut the fuck up, Harry.
It's like the party that you have before Lent or Ramadan, but on a cruise. Getting a cruise is the same as before you take a vow of silence. In Tibet.
You have to so it's like a debauched party cruise, so you can get it all out your system before you go to like become a monk.
Yeah,
That
it's
actually
like,
sounds sick.
It's like the party at the start of the Wishmaster films.
I've never seen Wishmaster.
They're pretty good. The first
It's not
one's
like a
pretty
guy grants you a wish. He's like the master of granting wishes.
good. There's a crazy party where at the start where everyone gets killed and they go all crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but people like Skeleton rips themselves out the body and stuff.
Whoa.
That's like hell to me.
We could do the Wishmaster film, like the first
Yeah, we should
one.
watch that movie. That sounds sick.
I think there's like 6, but I think we'll just do the first one.
But yeah, Chris and Pat go back together. Pat says that Pat doesn't want to be famous. Pat just wants Chris.
Yeah.
And they love each other again, and they get married, and it's very beautiful, and they get married in Tibet.
It's a very beautiful film.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It's really
I thought it was
good.
very sweet. I thought they did the character of Pat right. You know, like
Yeah.
I feel like that it was handled so well because it wasn't in the context of like anything happening now. There's no cultural background to it. It's just a comedy movie.
Yeah,
Like it's not trying to make a statement.
Yeah, like literally all the jokes are just like people being obsessed with trying to figure out what Pat is and just being confused by Pat.
Yeah. It's not exploitative at all. It's like
Pat has the power in the joke.
Yeah,
Pat is the one
exactly.
with the power.
Exactly. Yeah. Pat's very powerful during the whole movie. Pat's like completely invulnerable to any criticism and just like steamrolls people constantly.
Yeah, they're just glowing and turning different rainbow colours, and there's lots of fun music going on. Like Mario.
Okay, now it sounds like you ate one of these damn hallucinogenic mushroom hors d'oeuvres.
It's like that Japanese game Mario.
That's not what happens in Mario.
That crazy Japanese game. When he has the star.
Okay, he does actually go crazy colours when he has the star. You know what? I'm a fucking idiot. I'm completely wrong.
I thought I have a note where I thought it'd be funny to remake this in like 2020 with like an e-boy, like a TikTok e-boy that paints his nails and wears eyeliner. So it's clearly just like a man just like wearing makeup, but everyone's just like,
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't tell.
what kind of underwear do you wear? Ooh,
Well,
are
then,
you
like
a man or a woman? I can't tell.
like a butch tomboy.
It's just
Like
like
just like one of those lesbians who has like an eyebrow piercing and a snapback, but everything else is just like long hair and boobs. But no one can tell. They're just like, oh, what you're wearing a
I think
obey
it's-
hat.
I think it's funny with like a hype house guy from like a couple of years ago. He's wearing like a stripy like long sleeve under a t-shirt.
So I think that was it. That's the whole movie,
That is the whole
front
movie.
and back.
And it's great, and you should watch it, and you should strive to be more like Pat.
And you should listen to this podcast, and you should rate it 5 stars on Spotify, and you should recommend the episodes to everyone you know.
Yeah.
You should follow us on Twitter, and you should retweet and like our posts.
Yeah, rate the podcast on
And-
Letterboxd.
You should, as soon as you finish listening to this episode, press play and start it over again. Okay, and as soon as the episode's ending, just start over again. Okay, bye. Bye. Bye.
See, I've been messing with lil' mama about 4 weeks now. Man, she got me feeling like I'm weak now. She driving me crazy. I wanna make her my baby, but I